Welcome everyone to the Hallberg Center for the Arts, home of the Wyoming area creative arts community. Let's give a big hand for yourself for coming out for some live music tonight. And a very warm welcome to all of you and to all the people over the airways or whoever's going to watch us in the future in our time capsule. Anyway, I'll take a moment here to introduce our artists and we'll let them get started. To your far left, we have Riley Skinner. Riley's a singer-songwriter, also a visual artist. You'll see some of her wares over there. And it's electro-folk alternative music, as she describes herself. So welcome, Riley. Adam Levy, founder of the band the Honeydogs. Adam's done a number of projects, number of bands, including And the Professors, Turn, 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 Bunny Clogs, and he is teaching school. He's teaching history, so thank you for that and educating our young ones. Next we have Bethany Larson. Bethany is from Austin, Minnesota. Her band, The Bee's Knees, was voted one of the best new bands by City Pages and Star Tribune back in 10 years or so ago. She took a brief hiatus, and she's back with us playing live with The Bee's Knees. So that's Bethany Larson. So without further ado, again, welcome to Songwriters number 29 in the series. Enjoy the music, and we'll check in with you later.
Hi, everybody. What a pleasant surprise. I wasn't sure how many people were going to be out on a Thursday night in Wyoming, Minnesota, and this is a real pleasant surprise, so thank you. I was trying to think of 7 songs that kind of encapsulate, because Kirk said, pick 6 or 7 songs out. You guys are going to tell stories, and you're going to maybe play a little together in some cases. And so I was trying to think of all of the songs that I'd written, what songs are maybe the most meaningful or the most resonant at this time in my life. And this is a song that's the title track from a new project that I've got called Turn, Turn, Turn. I sing with a couple of women, so we do like 3-part harmonies, and we started out as a cover band playing our favorite 60s and 70s country and singer-songwriter music, and I just wanted it to be a cover band, but as we continued playing together, we started thinking, well, what if we made a record instead of just playing other people's music? And I'm like, well, that's a novel idea. I write music for a living, so why don't I try that with this group? And so we made a record a couple years ago, and this is the title track on that record. It's called Can't Go Back. And I think the reason I'm playing it now is I wrote it 4 years ago, but it still kind of captures the post or during the pandemic world that we live in. Woo-hoo-hoo. My love, can we stay in? Can we lay in bed today? The world is gray. My love, I got nothing. Fools rush in while we watch the world burn down. Girl, we'll embrace while empires fall. Here under these Jackson Pollock sheets, we can't go back. Have you heard yet? Little bird said the wall went up. My love, necessary, 'cause they're scary and we're rough. We're so tough. Girl, we'll embrace while empires fall. Here under these Jackson Pollock sheets, love, it's a lost cause, and they won't pause, but monuments will fall. My love, let's be patient, annihilation could be near. Oh, girl, we'll embrace while empires fall. Here under these Jackson Pollock sheets. We can't go back. We can't go back. We can't go back to the way we were before. Woo-hoo-hoo. Thanks, Bethany.
Sure. All right, well, so Adam played a new song. I'm going to play a really old song that I wrote when I was like 20 years old. And my boyfriend at the time got fired from his job. And I was there for him, you know. So that's what you do. Just kidding. But so I wrote a song about it, and I'm 37 years old, so it's like, but I like it. I hope you like it too. Why don't you come over? Forget what just happened. I'll make it all better. I'll make it okay. We'll go for a walk on the boulevard. Laugh off the sadness. Forget who we are. Just you and me. Just you and me. Yeah. Just you and me. We'll get real drunk, yeah. Make fools of ourselves. Oh, it's not too late to put your thoughts on the shelf. We'll go for a ride, yeah. Paint up the town. Then you'll kiss me right on the mouth. Just you and me. won't you come over? Forget what just happened. I'll make it all better. I'll make it okay.
Some tough acts to follow, but I'm excited to share. Thank you so much for being here and for having me. I am very new to living in Minnesota, and when I was trying to think of like what song I wanted to open with, I was like, well, I kind of want to play a song that's about this place that I've ended up, which has really felt like home really quickly. I moved here last July, and before moving here, I was living in Seattle for 8 years, and in between, I got kicked out of my apartment for like reasons that were outside of my control, and I ended up being on the road, like living out of my car for over 100 days, didn't have like any of my stuff, and it was like this really chaotic time where I was like, oh my God, I'm living on the lam, like I'm a criminal. That's what it felt like, and as like, you know, just kind of a young, naive person, it was a little bit of a weird, jarring experience. And I was like, I'm moving to a place, I moved to Minneapolis, where I've never, ever visited before. I don't know anybody who lives there. And I'm going to like go and try to make music and live my dreams. And it's actually worked out really, really well. And I'm super glad to be in Minnesota. But this song was one of the first songs I wrote after I moved here, when I was like, you know, home is like not this place, it's not this apartment, it's not anything, it's just like this feeling that you get, and so that's kind of what this song is about. Home, I missed the feeling. A lamp glows with special meaning. As the sun dips down out of sight, and the moon stretches to meet my eyeline, I am sure now, I am sure of it, I am sure now, I am sure of it. Strange clouds, a strange new sense of harmony. Nothing weighs me down. I have so much energy, like you're giving it back to me. Still, I miss the mountains and the green hills where our love was founded. 'Cause we were so young the first time you kissed me. But I knew then that what we had was plenty. And I am sure now, I am sure of it, I am sure now, I am sure of it. Home grows from a seed that we planted, pushing up through the ground. I don't take it for granted that you're giving it all to me. And I am sure now, I am sure now, I am sure now, I am sure.
Well, that's a lot to top. I'm going to do a song here about my son. A lot of people, when people ask me about myself, the first thing I tell them is that I'm a survivor of suicide. I lost my son to suicide 10 years ago. My son's name was Daniel, and he was an amazing artist, visual artist, and a really amazing skateboarder on top of that. But just his art, if you come to my page on social media on Facebook, you can probably find some of Daniel's art. Actually, I brought my record that I wrote about my son a few years ago with me, so you can look at his art. He did all of that on the record. So I kind of name check Daniel in this song, but it's got a few little vignettes about people who are struggling in one way or another. And I went through a period after my son died where I literally didn't write music for, 2 or 3 years. I just couldn't do anything except process what was like right in front of my face. And what was mostly in front of my face was his surviving sisters, kind of trying to, as preteens, trying to sort out a world where their brother took his life. And so there's a lot of really deep soul searching. But because I'm a songwriter, everything in my world, whether it's like the politics on television or relationships or, like really tragedy, goes through the filter of songwriting for me as a way to kind of process things. It's like my form of therapy. So this is one of the first ones that I wrote when I was kind of getting my sea legs back and writing things about Daniel. And so the first verse, I talk about Daniel and his drawing, and really like the relationship between Daniel and his drawing was so powerful. Like this was how he dealt with these monsters in his brain. He was able to channel all of the kind of horrors that he was experiencing in this really intense artwork. And so I talk a little bit about this, but this, believe it or not, is a song of hope and knowing that no matter how dark the tunnel is, there's always a little bit of light and we'll always get through it. Daniel lived things no one else saw. He gave vicious creatures life every time he draw. He knew what it was like to want to destroy them all. One day the monsters overtook him in another world call. Deirdre roams the streets trying to score. Whatever she takes, she gives more. Under Friday night makeup and a short leather coat, she hides a wailing child in her throat. And it's long, and it's dark. It's a pitch black path lit by nothing but a spark. And it won't get better till you move on. Annie sits alone desperately, imagining herself at a dinner party. She sets an opulent table for 5. Midnight comes, guests never arrive. And it's long, and it's dark. It's a pitch black path lit by nothing but a spark. And it won't get better till you move on. Father Russell can't seem to control taste the milky skin of 10-year-olds. In '06, the parish burned him at the stake. He was reincarnated as a modded shake. And it's long, and it's dark. It's a pitch black path lit by nothing but a spark. And it won't get better till you move on. It won't get better till you move on. It won't get better till you move on. Thanks.
So, it's a pleasure to be here. We're lucky to be here, aren't we? Thank you, Adam, for that. This one is dark. Some of my songs are dark, but, you know, I have a therapist. I saw her yesterday, so don't worry about me. Her name is Brittany. She's fantastic. I wish she was here. I'm just going to tune this. Yeah, we're all playing Gibsons. The guitars. Thank you for your patience. Customer service. Okay, that sounds better. Thank you so much. This is a sort of new one. And like I said, dark. That's okay, because it sounds pretty.
Give anything I've
big to the government. Waste away all the time you spend. Won't give anything up for land. It's okay, I'll still be your friend. You pass out like it's going out of style. All you want is to sleep like a child. Every step is like walking a single mile. And you pass out like it's going out of style. All you want is to sleep like a child. Every step is like walking a single mile. For miles and miles and miles. For miles and miles and miles. For miles and miles and
I'm so tempted to keep your angst going, but I think I'm going to save my angsty song for later. So one really big source of just comfort for me in my life has been being in nature. Like, that is everything to me. And I grew up in Colorado in a really little town, and there was a lot of just like being in the mountains, being in a grassy field, like driving around. You know, there wasn't much to do besides those things. And then I moved to Washington, and I was like, oh, great, there's mountains, there's oceans. Like, there's a lot of nature. And something I've really been enjoying here is kind of discovering the pastoral beauty in the lakes, and it's so awesome. But this is a song I wrote about a week I spent on the Olympic Coast Peninsula, which is it's beautiful, and it's very like dramatic. It's just like big crashing waves, and like there's a rainforest, and there's seals, and it's just like lots of stuff. So I was there and just kind of thinking about, like, I don't know, like, we're so disconnected from all of that sometimes in our modern world. It's like we don't even feel any affinity towards water or grass or birds, and it's like I can spend a lot of time in my head feeling sorry for myself about all my like modern day problems, and then I'm like, oh, this bird is chill, like they're having a great day, like I need to get with the program. So this is a song I wrote for those birds. Your chin is resting in your hand. A wave churns salt through the sand. A swallow dives to catch a fly. If he is happy, so am I. So am I. You took a dip in Neptune's pool. He turned your skin so pale and cool. Flesh of a fish, flesh of a sin. Flesh of a child who learned to swim. Ah, 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 ah. You're floating all around now. Your mind is wandering. Floating all around now, your mind is wandering. You're floating all around now, your mind is wandering. You're floating all around now. flower's petals wilt from bloom. A dusky haze, a small ripe moon. A swallow flits across the sky. If he is happy, so am I.
Nice. It's beautiful. That song felt like a little journey. You went to many places. I really, it's nice to be up here with two really good songwriters, and I feel like every time I do these, I learn something. And I've loved Bethany's music for a long time now, and I'm just getting acquainted with your stuff, Riley, and it's pretty amazing, like your melodies and everything that you come up with in songs. Like super unique. I love it. Is my guitar? There we go. So that song was kind of about nature, right? Kind of your relationship with nature. I wrote this song, and it started out as a song, like a love song to somebody, and I started substituting some words, and it became a love song to the state of Minnesota. And it's kind of a love letter about all of the beautiful things, but also some of the not so great things in our history. And Bethany and I shared the stage very briefly with this one project that I had called And the Professors. And Bethany sang on that, and she asked me before we did this, like, is there anything we could sing together? And I thought for a second, we should do that song called Le Toit de Nord. And she said, yeah, I think I can do that. And actually, we ran it downstairs, and she remembered it better than I did.
Well, now I'm going to mess it up. Just for you.
The force is with you. She was the star of the north. Étoile de Nord. She was a wolf, she was an icy road. Her flesh was the rarest morel. She whinnied like a loon. She was pregnant with history. Lady slipper on a limestone riverbank. And she cried the greatest river of joy, Mississippi. Springtime, she was a blooming prairie, lush fields, verdant valleys, swelter in summers, insects eyed a name. When she bore her young, the fields gave fruit. In the fall, she shed her bright clothes, and blew winds from the four corners, and she cried the greatest river of joy, Mississippi. And she cried the greatest river of joy, Mississippi. When she laid down, she covered us for months in a blanket of snow. And we cursed her name, yeah, we cursed her name, but we never moved south. She watched 38 hung in Mankato and 3 in Duluth, and she cried 10,000 lakes of tears. She watched thousands of her children go off to die in wars so far away. And she cried the greatest river of woe, Mississippi. And she cried the greatest river of woe, Mississippi. She was the star of the north. L'étoile de Nord. Thanks.
This next song is called Good Thing, and you'll hear the words.
so great to be up here with both of you talented singer-songwriters. And I really wanted to thank Kirk and the Hallberg Center for the Arts for having us, and everyone for coming out. It's really cool to play for an audience that, like, you guys don't really know us, and you don't really care about us personally, but you're here and you're giving us your attention, and that is such a special gift. So really want to thank all of you for just being here and listening and sharing the space with us, because that's really rare and it's really special to share with all of you. So I said I would save my angsty song, but I feel like the time is now. And this is a song that I wrote for a duo that I'm in called Headwind, and we are like a really like feminine, angsty Simon and Garfunkel. Like that's the vibe. Like the Cranberries and Simon and Garfunkel were a folk band. So yeah, this song is called Glass, and it's not usually sung solo, but I'm gonna fly the missing man formation and go for it. Oh, darling, when will I learn? I keep setting fires I don't want to see burn. All my life I've tried to find an anger I can hide behind. I'm scared I'll feel nothing if I let it all go. At least when I'm crying I don't feel alone. Oh, darling, just leave me be. I cut my feet walking on glass you can't see. Glass you can't see, glass you can't see. Shattered in front of you, shattered like me. I will pull it out and then count to 3, you count to 10. I don't want to lose, you don't want to pretend that everything's fine, everything's fine, that everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine, that everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine, that everything's fine, everything's fine. If I were you, I'd walk away. I'd walk and walk and walk for days and leave me in the mess I've made.
That's one of those cool choruses where the chords are signaling what you mean. Like you go from everything's fine major to everything's fine minor, like things are not really good. That's a very clever thing. Whether you knew you were doing it or not, you did it.
Yeah, I like the idea that, I don't know, I was thinking about that when people are like, oh, how are you? When you're like at a grocery store and you're like, oh, I'm fine. And then inside you're like, I'm not so fine. That was kind of the idea.
I know the feeling well. Today's a special day for me, and it's funny because I knew I was going to play this song, but for some reason I wasn't thinking about the real significance of this song today. As I mentioned, I lost my son 10 years ago, and I'm just thinking as I'm sitting on stage exactly 10 years ago today, because it's his birthday today, his mother and me and his stepmom and sisters, we all wanted to meet somewhere to do something with his ashes 6 months after he died and on his birthday. So on this day in 2012, we all drove up to northern Michigan to the Upper Peninsula because his mother said he was swimming in Lake Michigan before he came home to visit me in Minnesota, and that on his last summer, and he was so profoundly depressed and so inconsolably sad. Mom could do nothing to shake him out of it. I mean, we did everything you can imagine a parent can do to try and help their kid, and he was just so unreachable, But on this night, his mother recalled sun setting and him swimming in the water, and he was so happy. He was just beaming, and that was the last time she remembered seeing him really smiling. So she thought maybe we should take his ashes and put them in this place where he found some joy. So we all drove, his mother from New York, me and stepmom from Minnesota, and we met at this little beach in a town called Nobbinway. And this was the place where he had swam, and we took these huge bags of ashes, or bag, I should say. It's like this size. I don't know if you've ever held an incinerated human body, but it really comes down to about the weight of a cantaloupe in a bag of dust. And so we spent about 2 hours just sort of casting his sisters and me and his mom and stepmom. We just sort of gently put the ashes all over, and it was just a very beautiful, beautiful day for something that was so profoundly sad. So this is exactly 10 years to the day that what I'm going to talk about in the song happened. Driving 500 miles to meet your mother, and you in a bag on the shores of Nobbinway. Your sisters are broken, your two mothers frozen. Only 6 months have passed since you've chosen to end the blows of an unbearable world. Now you be a pearl in Nobbinway. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, I bid you adieu, only if we must. A backwards baptism in Lake Michigan, I cradle my baby on his deathbed. Sleep, my beautiful son, in the shallows of Nobbinway. A fistful of you in your sister's hands, all that was left when they burned your mortal coil at 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. The powder was your bones, and all that the spirits in the fiery furnace couldn't erase. We would place in Nobbinway. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, bid you adieu, only if we must. A backwards baptism in Lake Michigan, I cradle my baby on his deathbed. Sleep, my beautiful son, in the shallows of Nobbinway. Well, on the next day, we shed tears of jade as the radio played Niagara's cascade. Memories fade on the road from Nobbinway. I went through your things and I slept in your bed. I wore your clothes, your specters shone from the grave in Nobbinway. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, I bid you adieu, only if we must. Backwards baptism in Lake Michigan. I cradle my baby on his deathbed. Sleep, my beautiful son, in the shallows of Nobbin Way. Thank you.
So I wrote this song. It's called "The Heavens Remain," and I was reading this book called "The Feast of Love" by Charles Baxter. If anyone's ever heard of him, it's a really great book. And I woke up in the middle of the night. This was a long time ago, of course, and so I wrote down these lyrics that came to my head right after I finished the book in the middle of the night, because I just had to. I woke up and I was like, I want to finish that book, because I'm a really old lady now. I don't know. So this is called "The Heavens Remain," and this is what I wrote down, and I wasn't sure it made sense when I wrote it down, because you're half asleep. So and then it became this song, and thank you for listening. Sick with God only knows it. I stood close by, which just comes to show that there is something bigger than me. Many times I've wondered and could not conclude how I could be the only one in the room who makes the world continue to be. I will sing it through my only refrain. Drink the same thing all day and all night, but your image would never escape from my mind. Is there a lesson that should be learned all along? The sun's coming up and I am still here. How can a dream be filled with such fear, only to awake with the need and a song? I will sing it through my only refrain. Heavens remain. You can call it whatever you want. To each his own is all that we got, but there is something to be learned all along. Many times I've wondered, and I still don't know why. I feel the need to have something to show when all I've got is a need and a song. Nothing will make this untrue. There's no one better than you. I will sing it through my only refrain. I will sing it through my only refrain. I will sing it through my only refrain. The heavens remain.
Right.
It's beautiful. So this song is a song that I wrote after my grandmother died on my dad's side, which was a a big loss for me in a lot of ways, and part of it was that I knew I was losing my dad's whole side of the family. Like, she was kind of this connector between my dad and me, which were sort of our own close-knit family, but he has a bunch of brothers, and we're just not on the same page. It's been really hard for him his whole life to have a relationship with them and their kids, and I used to kind of see them when I was growing up, and I knew that when I went to her funeral that was going to be the last time that I saw any of those people that they're my blood relatives. And so it was a big moment for me in a lot of ways, but it just kind of got me thinking about family and the ways that I still feel very connected to them and try to send them my love from afar. And if they want to receive that, that's up to them. But I also have an amazing chosen family, and that's kind of a cool thing to be discovering. So this song is called Wrong Side of the Tracks. We all miss her in our own way. That's the hardest part for me at the end of the day. And I've never seen a boy cry like that. You were on the wrong side of the tracks. You were on the wrong side of the tracks, and you seemed so unbothered, never even looking back. We drove out of our way to say goodbye to my family. I don't know when I'll see them again, but we used to hang around with them. We used to hang around with them, but it seems like a long time ago. And you hadn't met before, so now you know what it's like to be with me, and what other fruits are born from this tree. For better or worse, I suppose. Do you think they ever think of us? I bet they think that we are on the wrong side, that we are on the wrong side of the tracks. I bet they think that we are on the wrong side, that we are on the wrong side of the tracks.
Really nice. That's such a sad sentiment, but delivered with such a beautiful melody. I've written a lot of songs over time, and I've taught a lot of people how to write songs or tried to help them find their unique voice as songwriters. And This is a song that I wrote with a student together, and sometimes you do prompts with your students where you're like, let's do this, you know, like write about this experience. Or in this particular time, I was like, let's write a conventional murder ballad, okay? And murder ballads usually, like in traditional folk music, are almost always, not always, generally like a dude who finds out his girl has cheated on him and he kills her. And that's just like the way they roll, you know? Like for hundreds of years, this is the way this tradition has gone. And I thought, well, let's do a murder ballad, but let's try to like do a twist on it. So it's a narrative story. We're gonna pull the listener in, but it's not gonna be what they expect. So here goes. The song is called, I was driving through the Delaware Water Gap many years ago as I was a touring band. You know, you're driving from Minnesota to New York and you like go through the Delaware Water Gap, and for years it's like, oh my God, this is the greatest song title. I gotta use this. And I waited like 25 years to actually be able to use it. So here it is. It's called Delaware Water Gap. It's my informed opinion that we spend too much time looking for another person to be a perfect rhyme. In this song and dance we dream alone and wait with bated breath for a literary love and a cinematic death. For a literary love and a cinematic death. It was a rarefied June evening when I first met that girl. She was dancing at the Volstead, all eyes were set on her. I drank my liquid courage, put her steady on my stride. If I failed to charm her well, at least I know I tried. If I failed to charm her well, at least I know I tried. I asked her who she was and she smiled and she demurred. You read about me in the paper, believe all that you heard. I joked that she'd slayed many that she captured in her trap. She laughed and said you'll find them in the Delaware Water Gap. She laughed and said you'll find them in the Delaware Water Gap. I said, let's go to your place. She said, I'm just passing through, but my car's around the corner if that's all right with you. I asked her for a name and she took too long to say. It's the dead of winter, but you can call me May. It's the dead of winter, but you can call me May. We drove through that ridge of mountains that spills into the Delaware Water Gap. We just talked the whole way through about life and love and loss and the things that we knew. Then she saw lights flashing in her rear view. Then she saw lights flashing in her rear view. May pulled the car over, it was a routine traffic stop. Officer said, ma'am, looks like your headlight's out. Copy took her license, came back and said, hands up. He went around the back, that's when he found me in the trunk. He went around the back, that's when he found me in the trunk. Ooh. Gets worse. She made a sudden grab for the gun under the seat. She flung around and shot the cop, he folded in the street. She put him in the trunk and I had company. Drove to the Delaware Water Gap and heaved us in the reeds. Drove to the Delaware Water Gap and heaved us in the reeds. It's my informed opinion that we spend too much time looking for another person to be a perfect rhyme. In the song and dance we dream alone and wait with bated breath for a literary love and a cinematic death. For a literary love and a cinematic death. Ooh. Thank you.
This one is called The Last Thing on My Mind. And I like to compare it to Emmylou. This is my Emmylou song. So maybe let me know what you think later on. Come on. Like I said, all right.
It's very Emmylou,
Oldie but a goodie.
I think. Is anyone else here a transplant from another state? Where? Where are you from? Well, I don't know if you all have had this experience, but being from somewhere else and coming here, it's like everybody's from here. Like the majority of people are from here. Like when you go to Seattle, it's like nobody's from Seattle really. Like we're all transplants. And when I first moved here, I was like, oh my God, everyone is so nice. And I think it's because they're like, yeah, my grandmother is here and will get mad if she finds out that I'm being mean. Like there's this kind of like generational kindness that I think is really lovely. And I just immediately was like, wow, everyone's so warm and kind and welcoming. And it just was like totally fills my soul to be in a place like that after like living in Seattle where there are nice people, but it can be a little bit like cold, like a hard edge there. And so I was just like, wow, people are so friendly. And I wrote this song kind of about that, and just like meeting amazing musicians here. Like I left a really incredible music community behind in Seattle that I will always really love, and it feels like, you know, like I cut my teeth there and was really involved. And then I moved here started from scratch, but just all these little like interactions with people like you guys, and being in places like this, and just having people say hello, like when you're walking down the street, it means a lot to me, and it goes a long way. And that's what this song is about. Snow drifted through in the night, and I feel like myself for the first time in a long time. I thought I'd be someone else by now, but I can't control the way time passes unexpectedly. The pressure's just been building to this moment. I know we all feel it. It makes me wonder, is there something new? Some little light pushing through. I wonder, is there something new? Some little light pushing through me. And even in my darkest moments, I hope you know there is a spark here. I feel the tapestry of your love wrapped around me, and you go a long way in making my whole day. You go a long way in making my whole day. I may not ever be in the right place at the right time, but I have something worth holding on to. And you go a long way. You go a long way. You go a long way in making my whole day. You go a long way. You go a long way. Yeah, you go a long way in making my whole day. You go a long way in making my whole day.
But I do have a couple of things, acknowledgments of things we want to thank. And first of all, our sound man, Caleb, thank you very much. We do have, as I think many of you or most of you were able to walk around, we are at the end of an exhibit. We switch exhibits every month. So that's what's exciting about the Hallberg Center for the Arts. This is one of the first times you've been here. And we encourage you to come back. And we have a guest book sign up, and if you like to get emails from us, we can certainly put you on our email address, and we promise not to pepper you too much with stuff. But we do have a show going on in the Ukraine's Struggle for Freedom, which any art that's purchased, part of the proceeds does go to Ukraine Relief. We also have some candy here that's actually Ukraine candy. It's pretty delicious. $5 a bag, and that goes straight to the Ukraine Relief, and that's a gift from one of our artists who's been joining us a lot lately. Her name's Autumn Carolyn, so thank you to Autumn for doing that. And this is really important because we are a nonprofit. We base our livelihood here and keeping the lights on through donations, sponsorships of shows, and grants. And the current show is sponsored by the Ritchie Tax and Financial Services, as well as one of our longtime volunteers, Ben Anderson. So we thank them for the sponsorship for the current shows. We also think this particular event, the Songwriters on the Round, is sponsored by the Hallberg Family Foundation, so thank you to the Hallberg family. This activity is made possible by the voters of Minnesota through a grant from the Minnesota State Arts Board and the East Central Regional Arts Council, which we refer to affectionately as ECRAC. Thanks to a legislative appropriation from the Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund as a part of the Clean Water Land and Legacy Amendment. So thanks to that. So anyway, with that said, I do want to ask them each a couple of questions. Riley, give you a chance to anything you have upcoming, anything you would like to talk about, projects, things that you're working on, or places you're going to appear?
Yeah, sure. So I've been playing a lot with a band that I formed since moving out here. It's just under my name, Riley Skinner, but we're an electro-folk alternative band, so it's kind of like 90s grungy stuff. And weirdly, some of the songs I'm playing tonight, we play with that band. Obviously a very different version, but we're really excited, and we just are in the process of mixing our first studio album right now. So we're going to have a big release show and stuff like that coming up soon. And if you're interested in hearing any of that or just staying in touch, the best thing you can do is sign up for my email list, because I'm not awesome at social media and I kind of hate it. But I love sending emails, and I don't do it that often. So if you are enjoying any of my music tonight and want to stay in touch, I'd love to hear from you and send out notices. I do a lot of little house shows and things like that as well.
My group Turn 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 is going to be playing a bunch of shows this summer. You can catch us at the State Fair on the, the 31st of August, 1st of September at the Shells, the band Shell.
I was on hiatus for a long time because I had to get healthy, and I just had my 2.5 years sober, so I'm going to talk about that one. All of us are doing that right now. So no big deal, but we're all sober, so it's pretty cool. Anyway, so band is back together after being apart, and my brother's actually here. He's in the band. He's over there, Chris. Hello, Chris. So we're going to be playing at an art center in Fridley, the art center in Fridley on July 16th, and then August 25th, we're playing at Ice House. So if you know where that is, we're going to be playing at Ice House. And August 25th, that's going to be rad. So that's all we got, but we'll have more because getting back in the game is pretty real. All right.
So without further ado, I will let you guys wrap up the show. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me, Kirk. It was a pleasant surprise to be asked to do this. My last song is a song, it's a happy song about being ghosted by somebody. We've all experienced this at one time or another. Some of us more than others. So this is on the Turn 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 record. You were lucky you got out when you did. I wasn't so fortunate. You couldn't match my sentimentality. compliments were never easy for you, giving or receiving. I've been ghosted. You said you'd keep me posted, suspended and spit roasted, permanent weight and risk is hosted. I've been ghosted. Well, I'm a profligate spender when it comes to affection, but I should be a miser for my own protection. Well, if I knew it was the last kiss, I would have worked a little harder. Now I gotta choke all the life out of my ardor. I've been ghosted. You said you'd keep me posted, suspended and spit roasted, permanent waiting room guest hosted. I've been ghosted. Oh Lord, what have you done? You gave me more than anyone. Why can't you take away my pain too? I'm always good at the coming part, not so good at leaving. My heart's still pumping, but I'm barely breathing. You were a nice girl, but you had sharp edges. I gracefully bowed out of the party because of one of your exes. I've been ghosted. You said you'd keep me posted, suspended and spit roasted, permanent waiting room guest hosted. I've been ghosted. I've been ghosted.
Hello. This is my last one, huh? Okay. So this song took a long time to write. I knew what I wanted to say, but I didn't know how to say it. You know how it goes, right? This song is called Everything Velvet. Everything Velvet means everything's safe. You're safe. You're in your happy place. And so I wasn't in my happy place for a long time, as y'all heard. And this song, part of it is, you know, I was down by the Stone Arch Bridge about 7 years ago and wanted to end my life, and then I saw a couple walking by, so I didn't do it because that would like really mess them up, right? So you know what I mean. So yeah, so this song is about being, you know, in the shit. In it and then out of it, sort of. And everything coming together, you know, and everything making sense, and things are finally just like falling into place, and it's just, tell you what, it's a feeling. So thanks for being here tonight. I just want to say thanks to y'all and Kirk and everybody for being here. This is really, you know, sometimes you play shows and people don't listen which is, you know, it's fine, but it's really a special play tonight, and so thank you so much.
The sun is down, I find myself downtown,
right, I think I'm gonna leave us on kind of a gentle note. So I spend a lot of time, like a lot of my mental time, like seeking answers, seeking wisdom, seeking like external, I don't know, just things I'm like, this will make me feel good. And there was a point where I was just like, what am I doing? Like it's me. Only I can save myself. Like this is not up to anybody else or any other power besides me. Like, and I think that's just something I really believe. And ever since I started recognizing that, I was like, oh, like I can be my own best friend or my own worst enemy in this life. And I'm going to try and make the right choice there. It's called Only I Can Save Me. Every word I say slips away. Why should I say anything at all? I could more easily hide away and come back to myself when I am ready. The ground is getting sucked dry by the sun, and even my eyes cried, hoping for the rain to come and make the whole world green, how I remember, and make my life seem so much better. We used to drive and drive and drive, forget my life, leave everything behind me. But I could not forget her face, so I turned back to that far-gone place and knelt at her feet. Only I can save me. I can't erase the many times I sought forgiveness from your eyes instead of mine. But from now on, you should know I'll take my chances with my own humility. 'Cause only I can save me. Only I can save me. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Here it is.